guys, it's Hardman again with episode 2. So in the first episode, we interviewed Kimbo all the way over in US. Now we're interviewing Peter here in South Africa, close to my hometown. He's in Joburg, if I'm not mistaken. So Peter, introduce us. Pretoria. It's a little bit.
Yeah, we stay away from Mordor.
Yeah, no, the darkness. Anyway, so introduce yourself, introduce your band, and tell me a bit about yourself.
All right. Well, hello. My name is Peter Toussaint. I'm a musician and a guitar teacher, and I play in several bands. But my heart lies with my very own band, which is called Fourth Sun South.
Awesome. Yeah. So being a rocker, I thought about spicing things up a bit. Instead of asking the normal questions that people would normally ask, I thought of making it interesting. So my first request, more than a question, is tell me the most random thing that ever happened to you while you were on tour, while you were playing a show. Go.
I must say, on our last tour, both cars broke down, and the one several times, and we managed to fix it every time. The other one, the gearbox completely gave up, and we only missed one show because we were on the way to that show, and that was not happening, and we had a tow, and the next day another tow to a garage, and they could fit in a new gearbox, and we made it. So half the band made it to the show. However, in the car where I was driving, we had the rig. So they had a couple of acoustic guitars, I think they did. And they quickly made plans to get some sound set up there, which they borrowed and rented in some. And they did an
sounds about right.
Stuck out of your thumb gig, and but people loved it, so it was all good.
Yeah, I don't know if other musicians experience what we experience here in South Africa, but it's like a Musa, just make a plan vibe here. So yeah, you're welcome. Leave a comment below what troubles you stuck with on tour and stuff. But there's a reason why we called our album Technical Difficulties. It's not because we're playing technical shit, it's just because shit hits us. Tell me, man, you are a very hardworking musician. I've done a bit of work with you recently, actually, and what I've noticed about you is you're very passionate and you're very precise and very hardworking. So, what drives you, and where did it start? So, tell me a bit about that.
I think it started at birth.
Okay. Love that.
However, I had to wait until I was 7 years old before I could start music lessons. And unfortunately, I had 1 year of classical theory before I was allowed to touch an instrument.
Okay.
That instrument, of course, was the guitar. And then I had a couple of years of classical Spanish guitar. I have no idea how I am still playing guitar, because if there is one thing that really takes you off the ball, then it's music, having to play music that you absolutely not interested in. And it was only later, so now I'm in high school, and as a dude, and he says, "Hey, I play guitar." I said, "Well, that's cool. I also play guitar. How long have you been playing?" He says, "Well, 2 months." Cool. Yeah, well, I've been playing 5 years. But he could play a song I knew. and I couldn't. And so I tell him, well, dude, how do you do that? Oh, he says, well, I've got this book here with the chords, you know, those little pictures of the chords. And I said, give me that book. I gave it back to him the next week. So I finished the book. I got all the chords down. And shortly after that, I got myself an electric guitar. Yeah, well,
Birth of it all.
and then it never stopped. My parents were very wise as to. My brother plays drums. He still does, but okay, not so intensive. And my parents made a deal with the neighbors, and they said, well, every day you can make as much noise as you want from, I think it was like 5:30 to 6 or something like that, for like half an hour, which means I had a gig every day for the neighbors, and practiced so that we could do the gig at night. And that helps you getting your hours in. So I did that for years and years, and well, then started the band and gigging, and
Awesome.
yeah, that also never stopped.
That's awesome, man. So tell me, being a rocker and all that, were your parents very supportive of the rock music that you were making, or did you have a bit of?
Yeah, they could. My parents were not into rock music, but I have 3 elder brothers, and I come from the Netherlands, and I moved to South Africa, so hence the name Fourth Son, South. I'm the 4th son going
Awesome.
south. And all my 3 elder brothers, they all had big stereos, and were competing DJs in the house. So my parents were used to it. And as long as you are doing your thing and working at it, then they didn't mind what music I would make. And actually later they appreciated the music I've been making. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. And tell me, let's talk a little bit about the band. Now, obviously, you started out with classical, which to me, I've noticed people that start out classical normally turn into brilliant musicians. So yeah, cheers, man. South Africans, we like to drink.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So other than classical, now keep it related to the band. What influences you? What influences your style of music? Your what you do on stage, your performance, everything around the band.
All right. So I grew up in a household with, as I said, my brothers, and they liked the classics, the Beatles, Pink Floyd, Deep Purple. So that's what I grew up with, and I most certainly that has formed me. I went later from Deep Purple. I went into the classic hard rock, the 80s rock, hair metal.
Good stuff.
Yeah. But especially Beatles and Pink Floyd taught me how a perfect song should be written, which means an introduction, verses, choruses, a bridge. There's a place for an instrumental, and there has to be a flow that connects everything together, and an outro to basically say bye bye. And I try to put that in, to use that when I'm writing songs. for me, it's still. I even have it. It's in lyrics of one of my songs. The secrets of the flow are still a mystery to me,
I
because
love
you
that.
recognize it immediately when it's there.
Mm.
But how to create it? That is the difficult thing.
Now that's the challenge, eh? And tell me, well, I don't know much about Pretoria. I do know there's a lot of good bands coming from Pretoria right now. Tell me, how has your local artists, other than your bandmates or your local musicians, accepted you in the community, and is it a working flow, or do you feel a little bit of resistance as well?
Um, no, quite well. So I said I came from the Netherlands and I came to Pretoria, and of course within 2 weeks I went to a music shop and asked where are there jam sessions around here, and they pointed me out to an no longer existing but legendary venue called the Nile Crocodile, and I appeared there on a Tuesday. I was used to jam sessions, as in you have a band on stage, and then at some point someone leaves and his place is taken by someone else, and you play songs that everyone knows. That was not the case. It was an open mic, so there were bands that had rehearsed and used it as a gig. Um, so I came there with my guitar and I said, "Yo, I would like to play." And they said, okay, wait till the end of the evening. And that time I arrived and I said, okay, what do you need? Okay, I said, well, a bass player and a drummer, and for starters. Um, so I started playing, but they did not know any of the songs that I wanted to play, that I thought everyone knows these songs. Um, until I said, well, 12 bar blues then maybe. Okay, yeah, now we know that. So I'm playing, and the the MC of the night said, that was very nice, please come back next week, I'll get you some real musicians. And that happened, and the I got to play with a couple of established musicians. And actually, that was the start of one of the bands that are still playing, which is called the Fake Leather Blues Band.
Oh,
And we
cool.
jammed there for every Tuesday night, I think for a year. And we wrote the songs as we went along, because, of course, we did not rehearse in between. But
Mm.
it was all jamming. And the next thing we knew is we were invited to come play at Oppie Koppie, which is
Oh,
the biggest festival in South Africa. Was the biggest festival in South Africa, but as far as I know, it no longer exists.
no, it's crazy.
Um, but there, I got to know so many musicians, and I've always gotten along very well with everyone. And yeah, it's a very small world, and before you know it, you know just about every professional musician in the country.
It's like that, yes. It
Yeah.
works like that. And tell me, being a band that sort of comes from sort of the olden way, I also I started out in the ways like it was before in South Africa, where you sort of had venues that were ready to accept you, and it was not as competitive as it is today. Um, and moving from that era, which was like the golden era, I mean, that was the time to be in a band. It was actually cool to be in a band, and everyone like it, was much bigger than it is now. And moving more into the modern, um, social media and streaming, and where now, instead of captivating people in a live environment, you have to also captivate them on a social media platform. So how did you embrace the modern era? Because you did. I mean, you're one of the bands that does really well, that I can see. So yeah, tell me a little bit about that.
you just try and try to have your social media pages look nice, try to have things happening and try to announce things. Of course, that went reasonably. And I only realized when Fourth Sun South went from a 4-piece to a 5-piece by means of our latest edition, which is a young female vocalist. Her name is Sarah. Sarah Jade. She also does her stuff solo, and she came in the band fresh and young, very young. She's now 20 years old. Then she was 19. And after 3 weeks, she already said, okay, guys, I'm going to take over the social media because you old people don't understand how that works. I said, okay, well, thank you. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
And
good tip.
yeah, since then we have seen a dramatic improvement in our social media.
Oh, that's awesome. So your tip for new bands is employ young people, because
Yeah.
the older generation we struggle.
I mean, I would just say, hey guys, we've got a gig there and then, and please come support. Yeah. And then send invites to everyone. That used to work on Facebook, let's say until 5 years ago. And at some point, really, nah, people are not so much interested. And then, of course, the Corona crisis came, and you really had to change your game.
Mm. Yeah, I think that was that was maybe the where the online exposure took over, and now online was everything you had because there was no live shows. There was a lot of bands that I saw at the time was doing live shows on Facebook and things. That was really cool. They actually did it really well. I actually had a few ideas to do some myself. I just think at the time I couldn't afford the equipment to do
Yep.
so, because you need to, like you said, you yourself said to me a few weeks ago, well, a few days ago maybe, you said, if you're gonna do something, do it properly, or just don't do it. And
Yeah.
that's the truth, you have to do it properly. So
Yeah. I have done a few of those gigs, but as a band, I very much, and as a performer, I very much leech off the energy of the people in front of me, and so I did not like those online shows at all, because then somewhere on a little screen, someone is. I can't see that. I'm busy playing. It doesn't work. I did, however, a music quiz online, which worked very well. Basically, I would play an intro of a song, and people online would then start guessing what song it is. And you do that with, I think, 12 songs. And then you have a score. And since I did it for a couple of months. We had even a season winner. And that was a lot of fun, and it kept me busy. But otherwise, I wrote a lot of music. Actually, I wrote a full album and built a studio, recorded that album, learned how to mix and master, mixed and mastered the album, and released it.
So yeah,
Because
there was some positive coming from it,
yeah,
from the coronavirus. Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate the chat. I had a really good time with you. I see our time has come to an end.
already. Oh
Yeah,
man.
but that was really fun. I really enjoyed the flow of it. And yeah, having a musician like you, having a chat with you, like such a privilege and an honor. I'm so excited to see what's coming from you guys and what you're doing next. I know one of the projects you're busy with, you with your personal as an artist. So I'm not going to give too many details. If you want to tell people about it, go for it.
Well, Mr. Hardman himself is involved.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely share that. We'll reveal some more details. So check the page up above below. I don't know exactly where it is, but it it will be shared here. It will be shared on my personal profile, and maybe Diverted Disorder will even share it ourselves. So, dude, thank you so much for chatting,
All
and
right, all
until
right,
next
all
time.
right.